Hi, how you doing? It's your girl Elizabeth Adela Oshodi, and there's so much going on, a lot going on, and I keep thinking, you as you get older, and sometimes in your journey, you really begin to see things for what they are. In the case of Nigeria, I'm going to be talking about my beloved country right now. The reason why, and I hope that people can learn in their personal lives and affairs to attend to issues on time. If you let things go bad, it takes 2 million times the effort to get it to go good. There is fire on the mountains, but I'm not going to approach it from every other area. Right now, as things stand in Nigeria, I'm going to be approaching it from the point of reality. Unfortunately, it is a very sad thing to understand. It's been coming for a while that the average Nigerian is not for you to fight for. You see the suffering, and I guess as a medical professional, it's very disheartening and heartbreaking to understand the dynamism that runs in a country, the dynamics of it, the different things that people are struggling with, the homelessness, the sickle cell diseases, the renal failure, and I've always said something, but I used to say it in trying to be blunt, but instead I realized that sometimes it'll come out as brutal. Enipa maku. What will die will die. What will survive would have survived. Because Nigerians are born slaves. And we have that, most of them have that slave mentality. They want somebody to hold them by the hand and to pull their lips so they can speak, and it's almost like they can't make certain decisions themselves. And I'm looking at the makeup of the power, the politicians that you are trying to get to change. And they must look at you as a bunch and say, change for what? A lot of the countries that have been able to make anything out of their lives have at least 60% literacy. But when you go to a poor man in Nigeria and you say you need education, don't buy that new pair of shoes, or it is not party that is the problem, you will see the people that you're talking to, along with their friends and their families, tear you into pieces, and they will tell you, say, na book we won't chop. So now when you have the political class, as it were, grooming their children, Wike, President Tinubu, Oshimole, and all those powerful generations grooming their children to take power. You see the poverty in the mindset of an average Nigerian. Not just working to make money, but also spending it as fast to show that they have made the money. People are crazy in my country. The poor are not just necessarily poor in pocket, but are poor in brains. They don't understand that there are people that are working to give their children inheritance, just like every one of us are. But it is not necessarily just money. It is connections. It is power, position that you've had. So you find them flocking together and raising their children, and instead of you seeing them at parties every day, the way you see an average Nigerian, I know people that if they don't celebrate 5-6 times in a year, they will die. And they say that is their method of making themselves happy. I've heard stories even here of a woman looking for pregnancy for over 15 years. She finds the pregnancy, and everybody around her couldn't stop her from going to visit Nigeria. She came back. The pregnancy was spontaneously aborted. We don't understand what is called process. You will see somebody here celebrating a 1-year birthday. Go get a big hall or baby shower for a pregnancy that you've been believing God for 10, 15 years. Baby shower. Who should have even locked their door and said they traveled out of town? We don't know when to celebrate. We don't know when to be sober. We don't know how to control these certain emotions and things that come into your life after a victory or much struggle. We don't know at all. We're used to pacifying our emotions, our feelings. I can't come and die. I can't come and kill myself. We don't know. We don't look, because you don't know the suffering too has its lesson, and there's a way it structures you, but you fight and overcome it. It's like somebody that does a gastrostomy. You just do this this surgery, whatever you do to make this your stomach small, and then you begin to eat everything palatable. I've seen that before too. You go for abdominoplasty. Your stomach is just a small, but because you're used to eating big before, you eat and eat and eat and eat until you now stretch that stomach to the biggest it can be, and there will be no difference from what it were. We don't know that if you have lacked for a long time, when you come into opulence and money and greatness, you are not supposed to try to make up for the hunger that you have been through before. You should take on the discipline of your times of suffering, which is what I teach students when I attend graduation parties. I tell them, live as that CNA, that struggling person you were for at least 2 to 5 years before you begin to feel the greatness of your new position and the height of elevation. But no, the day you get graduated from your graduation hall, you go to the next car dealer, you get a car loan. Before you know it, your parents, your husband, your kids, your friends around you get you to go and buy a big house, and you continue to struggle as if you never got that new elevation. Who are you competing with? What are you showing up for? I've been here, I've written an article on Michael Mokori, or Reno Mokori, or that gentleman. And then when I heard that he took a position, I felt, did he have to do that? But yeah, because that is what you deserve as Nigerians. There are a lot of people that you see that are talking, you listen, they have sense, they're right, you are astonished. But fighting for you, who are not fighting for yourselves, have almost killed them. And I realized that when you attack somebody like very dark black man, what you expect are people that been shit that want to that will not uplift their lives. And even when they talk, you begin to curse them. You are jealous of the fact that there are some of us that recognize that can speak. And so when we begin to want to make that balance, because we have been demanding change from you, you don't want that. You want us to risk our lives, our pedigree, our future, our opportunities, and our safeties for your dead, stagnant selves. It is very sad. But more and more people like me will abandon the Nigerian poor. Well, like to lie. We will see them cut heads off like this, and we will just flick and go. It is not because we have become hardened. It is because we know that you deserve it. There's a difference. See, being kind and rescuing people and loving people is not all about rescuing them and risking your life. sometimes you need to let them go through the process to suffer. Sometimes to the 10th generation before somebody will have sense. Each and every one of us are the ones that can live our best lives. There is no reason why you will say because you don't have money, you join Yahoo, you want to use your own mother for ritual. The sicknesses and the brain deviations that the average Nigerian poor shows has nothing to do with the lack of money. It has to do with the lack of character, the fear of God, and the total loss of sensibility. That is why I can honestly, boldly say that the poor in Nigeria is not the same thing as the poor in most of the other countries around us. Because your wickedness shows a lot. You're very wicked people. You're very wicked people. And when you see people, especially, it is so sad to watch a lot of us that are abroad that could have even been running for political offices here, that are suffering, sometimes minus zero account, sit on Nigerian issues. It's almost like we never left home. And the funniest thing that I've begun to realize is that your cream a la cream, your real substance, your people of honor and dignity are not on your social media platforms. So we have been rolling with most people that are in the gutter, that refuse to educate themselves and value their own lives. We left home to make it here. But instead, we had one leg in Nigeria, one leg here. It is better not to even remember that we left Nigeria and face it squarely abroad where we are at, than continue to dwell in the gutters and the ditches with these non-entities and timid foes who refuse to grow and do their own part, who are looking for sacrificial lamb after they have killed Jesus, and we know that it didn't lead to anything or anywhere but for a few seconds. You wonder why the rich amongst you act like they can't hear you. It's unfortunate because most of the poor that have risen to be great people, to be successful, I see the way you try to pull them down under gist lover, I'm a budgist, a juicy, cutie, juicy. That is all you are good for. Destructions and damage. I'm always going to be apologetic in the end to the few ones still stray bullets, mamba, that you know that you're different, but which way out? You know, I wrote an article on Emanuela, Kataife's baby mama. And I see all the ladies with C's and dignity and ability to travel and family, and call her lazy. They talk down to her. They tell her, get up and go. As if they are not in the same Nigeria. And the ones that are abroad never lived. I'm going to tell you my experience as a Nigerian girl. And every woman around you, your mothers, your sisters and friends can deny. If you put 10 Nigerian men in a room, 9.5 of them would demand sex. I have learned and can say no because I have options. And I'm seeing Emanuela at 23. She has a 2-year-old or so baby, which means she had a baby when she was 19. She is an orphan, no mother, no father, no brother, no sister. That must be a scary place to be. That was one of the traits and character and situation, circumstance that got me fighting in the first place for Liz and Jerry that I've never met, may never meet. When the world sees your vulnerability, you are game for everybody. For the aunties that pretend to be nice to you in public, but all they want to do is fix you up with the next hookup. For the uncles that say they are uncles and want to adopt you, but all they want to do is get you to a place where they too can take a piece of you like you were a cake. For friends, they know you are supposed to pick up after them and carry their purses, because after all, they know your vulnerabilities. And to make it in Nigeria, you look and understand the structure of where you're at. If it is in a place like America or London and you are an orphan, you can go from zero to hero, because we have social structures in place that can help. Now, but you would have to settle for a man, and every favor that has sex in it is exploitation. Every assistance and help that has submission attached to it is an abuse. It's a control. Your life, if care is not taken, will forever and ever be at the mercy of somebody else, because you have no home to run to. You have no safety net. You have no financial resource. The family, your own mother and late brothers, fathers, mothers, sisters will use you to comfort their own children. To all the orphans around the world today, especially in Nigeria, don't give up. Even if you've been trapped and you're being used as a prostitute, don't spend all your money the way your other friends spend their money. Save. Find time to go to marketplaces to wash legs and carry and sell stuff. Don't be ashamed to beg. One day, God will have mercy on you, to send you a family or someone that can adopt you, to give you that sense of belonging and not just be roaming around like a kite. I can't imagine what it must be to be an orphan in Nigeria, because no matter how loving those people that are supposedly helping you are, you must beat every confidence you have down into the ground, and your humility must go into total submission, because you know if they drive you, where will you go? In Nigeria, where rituals have become the order of the day, where wickedness is as common as the oceans, I don't know. I'm just saying to every activist or so-called activist, to every fighter and kind-hearted Nigerian, please realign yourselves with the truth, because nobody can deliver a people that are not ready to deliver themselves. You see, I'm not shouting. It is not by noise. God created the heavens and the earth with his words. Words are not just empty. For your sake, the sake of the poor, a lot of people have lost a lot of contacts and connections. And it hurts to say that you have not moved an inch. You are not deserving to be fought for. I am not deserving to be fought for, because that's not the way God structured it. We are supposed to come together and fight for ourselves. But you push some people forward and say, Eloshe, but when the goodness comes, I just realized that you, in your poverty of mind state, you will not even know how to conduct yourselves. You will not know how to protect that which we win for you. You will not know how to respect yourselves and honor yourselves. All you want to do is like, is it more than party? Is it more than, what are you getting from everyday party that is not bringing money? I don't get it. But yes, I do understand. I'm not saying it's an endorsement, but I understand the structure that Nigeria is made of. And I, again, I'm repeating this morning, I've surrendered. I do not regret anything I've said in the past or done as regards you, my people. But I am saying it's just not worth it for me. You know, even the people that you hire and you pay have a right to withdraw and resign. They just give you notice, adequate notice. So I don't want to see anything in my inbox that says this matter is going on, that matter is going on. No, I want to do my writing and do my speaking from a place of wisdom. I don't want to join myself with those people that are stupid and blackmailers that Nigeria has targeted, and then I be blacklisted for you. You're not worth it. Nobody is worth that. There is nobody worth what I'm going to invest. It's my grandchildren that may see it while you run around and enjoy with your own children. One life to live. So for everybody that is fighting VDM for not talking about this and not talking about that and no. If we're one body, it is not my nose that passes my feces. It is not my brain that does my mobility. It is not my eyes that crown my head with the beauty. It is not my mouth that I pee from. We are all qualified Nigerians to speak and fight for ourselves. The fact that you don't have money doesn't take away your voice. Now, it may take away the impact and the distance, but you must keep talking, right? The fact that you don't have money doesn't mean that I understand that you go into a bank to steal, because people with social amenities here still do that. It doesn't excuse you for wanting to use your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your wives and husbands for money rituals that you have never seen the proof of. No matter. You know, somebody was saying something, I think it was Alvin, that was talking about a comment he saw when a woman was being asked that if your husband was dying and the only option was to go sleep with your boss to save his life. And the woman said she will never do that. And I saw the comment section catch fire because she thinks she should have slept with the man that will now get well tomorrow and call her a prostitute. Don't lose yourselves in trying to save other people. You are not a hero. All those ones are mythical behavior. You do your best and you leave the rest because you didn't create them and you don't know if God is dealing with them from their wickedness, or even if you save them, if they will be able to repay you back. Don't disappear in other people's lives and problems. Do the best is what God has said. Do you get me? But do it from kindness with wisdom. Do things not to be a hero. You went and you had the guts, the balls, the audacity. You took like 40 apples, some of your bloggers, and you beat it a little, and you said that is how VDM deals with cases. How do you want him to deal with cases? Is he your lawyer? Did you vote for him? That is the same way most of you have self-destroyed yourselves, going around life, blaming your parents even if they got it wrong. But you're an adult now, and you don't have the sense to look around. You humble yourselves around the people that are maybe God would even open the door for you. You sit, you are blaming your parents that are dead and gone. You, private party, you are still blaming your parents. What have you been able to do so far for yourself? You will blame everybody in your way but yourselves. You don't know how to pull yourselves out of a dire situation by humility and purpose. Because there's no way you're going to be kind to people and they will say, how can I help you? When they are worthy people. But instead, you join the Kolos smoking group. You pacify yourself with Party and Ashwebi. And if you are going to ever make it, you go and join the Runs girls. Even here, there are girls that are dancing at the clubs as strippers. In school, medical school, progressing their lives. How come everybody that you meet in your life don't know what is paining you? I have been getting work. It's not like I don't have work. Conroe. Yesterday, I said, let me even be realistic about the distance. I took Uber for $80 to get to that job where they got me. If I had taken my car, it would have been full tank. That would have been $60. That is no longer work. That is a bleeder. I'm looking for work closer to home. And I thank God that my son is able to help me through these difficult times. You let the people around you know what you're going through, because you don't want to steal, you don't want to kill, you don't want to destroy, but not just for that. For your own sake, before you are pushed into a corner and lose your character and misbehave. I say it every day. If you're in us around Houston and they're hiring, call me, Elizabeth Adela Oshodi. These are days that are tough everywhere. Now, ICE has increased their determination to go door to door to door to knock. They are still grabbing people from stores, especially African related, but they don't care if you have your citizenship or not, because they're calling even some military IDs as not fit. You have to go prove it, or your state issued IDs. They are vicious. So now the point to educate. ICE has a right to knock on your door. The immigration services have a right to knock on your door. You have a right not to open it without a valid court signed. Now read my words. They will tell you they have a warrant. Tell them to show you, is it a valid court signed warrant? And you have a right, according to the 4th Amendment, by the way, and you have a right, according to the 5th Amendment, to stay silent. You don't have to answer the questions. You don't have to tell them who lives in your house. You don't have to say nothing to them until they show you a valid, still current, court-signed warrant. It is not a joke. Every place is going through stuff. That is why I don't understand the wisdom in continuing to live in Nigeria while you are actually physically waking up every day in America. It is insane. It cannot continue. It can't continue. Nobody can sustain that without losing their lives, their goals, their purpose, their target. Diasporans can support with money if they choose to, and I don't think it's that necessary always, because they're not making a lot. But take your mouth out of cursing out kings and out of cursing out political leaders, unless the ones that have been court-martialed and judged. But going on the suspicions of these Nigerians, because tomorrow you'll see them and shaking the same leaders that you have been condemning them for. I just don't know if there's anybody thinking like me that value their lives and begin to realize that if not for certain makeups or how you know how to carry your body or the wigs that we wear, when you leave your hair naturally, it will be as white as this. And all that you have fought for doesn't make sense. Redirect that energy to building connections and contact and a place for your children to inherit outside of just making money. Money has its place, but money without flesh, meat, connections, the right people, will be useless money that stands to dry out. It's been a very bitter truth to understand and realize that the people that you're fighting for are just comforting and pacifying themselves. It's the slave mentality that is built into the fiber of an average Nigerian, and it just hurts me to see the people that you call oppressors that have taken over your life, stealing your money, eating your posterity, understanding that they have my kind of mindset. I don't know what I would have been like if I was amongst you or worse, who refuse to think for yourself, refuse to act. And mama, you are not in your spirit truthful. You don't align with the truth. You don't respect reality. You don't think deep down. Ọlọ́gbọ́n kan, àṣírí mẹ́jọ, asínwín 20, aláìníròrí 200. Actually, based on the number, aláìníròrí 2 million. You'll be talking about one thing, they'll be digressing to another. Ask a straight-up question. An average Nigerian can't answer you without telling you stories. They are not smart. They refuse to be. They're only smart in stealing and lying and talking about people's bedroom issues. But the one that affects their real lives, they have decided to ignore. If you can't give them money, you don't mean monetary resource or gains for them, you don't matter. They don't respect the average human life. Who are the people spoiling the structures? Is it Tunumbu that is taking bribe in the different places that you go? Are your police officers to Tunumbu? Are your drivers that you employ Tunumbu? Are your children that have been so unkind to you Tunumbu? The friends that you have helped, are they Tunumbu? Anybody said with the Tubu? Wala diba. Come about here. Let them learn to steal just a little. As much as thievery is not good. But who will be amongst you guys that will not be tempted to do something crazy? Will not be tempted to go corrupt? It is a pity. Go and sit down and stop pity-pieing all over the place. Go and sit down. So, it's like that. I don't know. The vulnerabilities of the people with sense in Nigeria, in the hands and the circle of the people they rule, is a lot. You can blame them for stealing and but you, the public, give them the license to you, hand over everything because you want everything to be automated. Ibiti Nigeria ti shede àwọn kan, they have rightfully packed themselves. Ó ti di a tale of two cities. I bet sometimes an average Nigerian will go for months, sometimes years. You will never see somebody that is truly rich outside of the people that you are eating their flesh. You call them helpers. Most of you. You just want people to give you and give you and give you and give you. And you know, can't turn children to Access Bank. That one doesn't mean that you will not sleep with your husband. No, sex is not part of the problem that you have. Meanwhile, people are abroad and some of the rich people don't fuck for months. If I can be in America, sometimes I don't fuck for up to 7-10 years. But you can't come and die. It is sex that you use to pacify your poverty. Mo kàn cruise láàárọ̀ yìí ni kò yé yín. Mo cruise láàárọ̀ yìí ni. Ẹni tí ò bá mọ́ra igbá lọ́wọ́ yín. So I just post what I post, and most times I ignore the rest. I don't want to care about what is going on per se like that. So don't send me DMs and ask me what I'm not talking about. I call the shot on what I talk about. I want to talk about things that can bring us together, but not on the platform of making you wake up. Some of you need to die in slumber, because even if you wake up now, you don't have any way to do it. Except you're going to kill somebody. You have let your life go so badly. I don't know where It's crazy. How can the mother of a 30-something-year-old man be fighting the ex-husband for not taking care of the son that is already a man, rather than they get together and find out how to bring solution to the poverty? How can a 62-year-old man still be blaming the father for not sending him to school or for not making him the head of household? This blame game shit's gotta stop. I don't get it. Blame this, blame that, if not for, should have been, could have been. But what are you doing with the little that you can do? That is why with Emanuela, as much as I understand that you're an orphan and you do have a little baby, and I feel for you, on one side, I am appalled. Your brain, Daru now, your brain is not destroyed. Just because you are an orphan, you should have realized your situation. There are things in us that God put there that is consciousness. And we attract who we are. And sometimes that is not always so, but if you are a prostitute or a thief or a 419er or a defrauder, there's a part of you, if God has destined you for something great, that will not totally sit down in that unfortunate situation and circumstances that life, let's call it life, that life has geared you to be part of. You will be looking for a way out. You will feel uncomfortable in that seat of the sinful. You will not be gloating in the publicity and the gains of your dirtiness. You will know the difference. You will know there's something amiss. So to every thief, I'm Robert this morning. To every liar and fraudulent person, to every name-spoiling WhatsApp group member, to every oppressor, to every corrupt, I understand, and every prostitute and ritualist and kidnapper, I understand that something would have pushed you to that desperation, but how much has passed through your hands ever since? How come you still have not stopped the bad behavior and bad character and ask for forgiveness and have a repentant heart and try to build something that is legitimate? I'm just asking. I understand that you have to be a prostitute, you have to be a hookup girl, a runs girl, because that is the structure of the country we live in. But I'm saying, since you have been buying, instead of buying the human hair for 2 million and going for butt lift for 1.5, because all you're doing right now is just reinvesting in those things that keep you in that line of business that you do. When your friends eat meat, you should tell them you're a vegetarian, you are not hungry, because secretly in your heart, that sinful position you occupy should be grieving your spirit. If you know the truth, you live the truth. I am not here to condemn anybody. I am saying, even as you don't have a mother and a father, and life has not been fair to you, and all that you find yourself doing is that you have been on the other side, a cultist, and working with people that kill, steal, cheat, and destroy, and people that are ritualists and armed robbers, and all these people that are who they are, because they will never go away. It is their influence and power over us, me as an individual, my generation, my family, that I can only fight to keep away and pray to God to back my effort. In that situation and circumstances that you have found yourself, that your heart is not in, how are you saving money to get out? What are you doing to change your trajectory in life? How are you beginning to cope, to understand that that is not where you ought to be? It's like the case, you remember, of the eagle being born into the chicken's poultry, and saw the eagle mother flying and came to himself. When are you going to come to yourself? Iwashewo, prostitute, once girl. That your excuse is that you come from a poor background. You, armed robber, cultist. When are you going to wake up and say, I cannot be making money continuously like this from the sufferings of other people. I have shed enough blood. All this money that you masquerade as armed robber, prostitute, killers, and thieves by night. When you dress and come out into society during the day, don't you feel anything in your heart? Or you are looking at everybody like a wolf in a hen's house and saying, that is the next chicken I'm going to consume. As your heart truly, have your heart become that gone, degenerated, broken, nothing changing? That is how you are going to die. I remember the case of the guy that said he had his HND and his school, and when his father died, they gave him a house in Ilaru to go and man that because he couldn't find work in Lagos. And he became a ritualist catcher. In 6 months, he had arranged for 7 girls. He invited them on a app on his phone to come, and when they would come in, he would lure them with the pestle of a mortar. The pestle of a mortar, that big strong wood. It will eat the girls from the back and their brains will splash on the floor. And it will carve them with the herbalist into bits and pieces like chicken parts. And when they were asking him, he said, I just want the government to be kind. I will never again do. No, see, those ones should be thrown into fire like wood. It's a damaged property. I believe that it can be useful up in heaven to God. Is God creator if he has truly repented, but he ought not never to dwell in the midst of human beings again. But when they talk about things like this, you say, let him without sin cast the first stone. Misplaced kindness, lack of accountability, lack of respecting your intuition, afojudi disregard, indiscipline, akora nijanu. You don't know how to talk to yourself, huh? You don't. Some of us do. Tori ani faye yin shetan. Emi gan bi se waye. Mo ti ready àti wá jẹ. Ọmọ tó ní pedigree ni mi. Egbe ọmọ ní bí níran. Owó kọ́ náà fi ṣe, owó nìkan kọ́ náà fi ṣe. Extra. But the connection, your pedigree, what your parents have done, that's why I'm going to encourage you today. Don't just work on getting money, because that's why a lot of you have grown reckless. Work on restructuring and building your reputations. No, don't always think, because Nigerians are, they still know who they want to be safe in the presence of. So your recklessness and disrespect and lack of humility and total rogue behavior, Oshi man padawa biting. Because I want to gbe nkan gidi dani, they can't risk their lives to be around people who all they do is just think money does it. Money is to resolve problems. Money is to show the people that you're not part of, that you're worthy to be part of them. Oh man, feel you use money to buy favor, to attach and connect you to dignity, to conditions that are connections. Don't you see that even all your artists, when they start off, let me use Ashake for instance, don't you see that as God lifted him up, he changed his looks. Omwali, Alaimori, I'll repeat that, a freaking bastard, an ungrateful soul, is he or she who will continue to tread in the paths when they were poor, that will not know how to take a bath in clean water and use some cologne and perfume to buff up and let God know that you deserve the new position that he has walked you into. You cannot continue to be a thug. You cannot continue to talk. My brother, Twali, all those people ten wo àwọn papa wa Wasiu Ayinde, Kwamon, Iba, Chief, Ilemu. Look at how they have polished themselves. When you are given the opportunity to elevate yourself, your speaking will be different. Your comportment will be different. That is how life is. I want to be what I want to be. Nobody can tell me shit. You will self-destroy yourselves. Comportment and decency is still part of life. You cannot, that is why you have fake profiles, that you're letting all those people destroy you under cutie juice and just lover and I'm about this and I'm about that. They are eating, but you, the commentator, have your personality and profile out. You have been blacklisted and marked. You have sold your posterity today. You have used a huge blockage to align your life, and you will never be anything. So I'm just here to say, not to the lazy idiots who can think for themselves, or some dumb asses that is just sitting serving other people. You think because we all use cell phones, so we don't mate. If we mate for age, we mate for brain. We don't mate for brain now. We don't mate for achievement. We don't mate for purpose. Even if you be millionaire on this cyberspace still acting foolish, we don't mate. Your money no go carry you reach everywhere. Now contact, connection, common sense, your awareness, ability to understand the seriousness about life. Is everything a joke? Must there be laughter that is ending every talk? Don't you know that there's certain talks that end with tears? For your betterment, and for your progress, and for your prosperity, for posterity's sake, for the sake of the legacy that you're going to leave. Some talks live with tears, even if your heart is still full of gratitude to God Almighty. Gratitude is not necessarily joyfulness or happiness. Gratitude is not taking God's flowers away from Him for having created you. The breath in your nostrils, rich or poor, the breath in your nostrils, progressive or stagnant, the breath in your nostrils, falling or standing, the breath in your nostrils. So God now your mate. You want to weigh the gratitude of your heart according to your pocket, according to your mood, your situation. You never see where person they cry, they praise God before. That's me. I'm rich, I praise Him. I don't have money, I praise Him. I come to your dog begging, I'm still going to praise Him, because I know it has nothing to do with Him. He gave us the heart to occupy as tenants. He is the landlord. But when you tell your landlord, hey, and you haven't paid him for 10 years, he has a right to turn off your water, turn off your light. And God is not even He's not as vengeful. He has no time for punishing you. He is busy creating good, trying to restore and build back into beauty all the ashes that your attitudes and your behaviors have caused. Let me repeat that again. And God, the God of vengeance, is not the one punishing you. It is Satan himself that is punishing a lot of you, if not all of you. I said a lot of you because some of you just don't know and understand life process. That life happens and things go wrong that you have to make right. I say God himself is so freaking busy trying to rectify what you have spoiled. What Satan, you have given Satan the chance to spoil in other people's lives. Is not judging anybody yet. Until after. It is given unto man to die but once, and after that the judgment. And let God be true and every man a liar. God is not judging you. People are lying to you. Know your scriptures. Know who He is. He's a merciful God. He's a good God. Don't let them keep you away from Him. He's not doing judgment right now. He's busy trying to make sure that we don't kill each other here on His neck by giving Satan and our flesh the access to destroy us. Real. I just thought maybe, like I said, this is my therapy page. I didn't open it for anybody. Nobody's paying my bills. Oh yeah, sometimes my son does. He's the only one that can tell me to get off the phone. And we're not in that kind of situation because he has respect for me and for my judgment. But I just wanted to tell you the temptations when you're broke. The crazy ideas that come to your head when you look right, left, and center, and there's nobody. The isolation, the loneliness. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse. You are taking the easy way out. That's why you do what you do. Because you want to maintain your steez, and you can afford to fall. You can afford for people to laugh at you. You can afford for them to see that you're not doing as well. So you will kill, cheat, and destroy to sustain your profile. But some of us are not like that. Instead, we run inside. We hide ourselves. And we try to reach out to those people that we know will cover our shame. God laid this on my heart this morning for somebody. And I've been pushing it aside and pushing it aside from sometime yesterday morning. But I could feel the pain for that person. And I'm here to tell you, you will suffer, yes. But at the end of the day, you would overcome. Hiding away is not going to solve the issue. Because if you die, your death will be pronounced. But joining all the offers that come to you through your friends that are doing wrongs and wanting to give you to men to pollute your spirit and disgrace you. That's how they get your nakedness posted. And this men, that's how you get infections. And they're truly good rich men that just are lascivious in their ways, and they say they will help you, but they have to sleep with you. You don't know what they are, ritualist or maybe just having fun. But when you walk in the ways of the Lord, especially if your parents haven't laid foundations for you to build from, most likely you will suffer. Your church members will disappoint you, but they're not your God. And God didn't assign himself to you in them. You will suffer. You have to build small. You have to do the job that some people think is shameful. Because the day of your unveiling is not yet here. People like to live a fake life. But you save more than your friends do. Eat less than your friends do. Buy less than your friends do. Because you need to have good capital to establish you so that you can be established and stable, to put you in a position of power, to say, no, I don't want to sleep with you. No, I don't want to be part of this. You will be able to have a voice without having to feel threatened like lose your life. You'll be able to afford a roof over your head no matter how mega. You'll be able to sell so that you can earn not your body, not your dignity, but a trade. You'll be able to start small and move up. You will suffer, but it is all for a good cause. I don't know why people keep preaching that if you're suffering, it is the devil, and if you're enjoying, it is God. When you and I can see clearly that it's almost the opposite. You are not right, and I'm not right. We cannot judge, and especially not from such a mundane, myopic view. The rich can be evil, and the poor can be evil. The rich can be kind. We never know who is serving or God is putting through trials. All I'm saying is, I'm not talking about the general world. And I didn't come here to say that I'm smart. I said God laid it on my heart for somebody. That you will suffer. But you will do well if you held your faith. You will do well to keep your feet away from evil. You will do well not to compromise and contaminate everything that you have been working for. Sell some properties to sustain some that you have. Who are you auditioning for? It is okay to lose something. Sometimes so you can get stronger. A lot of the wealthy people you see today once sold either their gold, their property, their land, their car. They sold something to keep the little they have so that they don't end up losing all. And I can give you an example. I bought a home in California and I was using it for rental property. And those people showed me hell, And my boss, Mr. Sam Adeleye, the owner of Global Nursing Services in Inglewood, California, approached me and said, Sister Me, this weight of this house is killing you. It's too much. Why don't you let me buy it from you? I can help you out in that way. And you can just take like $50,000. As of that time, I'm talking of 2004, 2005, 2006, 2005. I think I filed bankruptcy on that house in 2006 or 7. And I said, no, I don't want to sell it. You know why? Because I called and asked my mom. Yes, I mean the American system, asking a woman in Nigeria that has not worked for almost 20 years advice. You know what she said? God forbid you will never sell. We will buy house to add on to house. We don't sell. So I started to struggle. It wasn't the mortgage per se, but I was working night shift, 12 hours, almost 5-6 days a week. And every time I would be coming from work, the tenants will call me. And this was Section 8 tenants. That means they have the backing of the government. If they didn't spoil the fire alarm, and Section 8 tenants never go wrong. The government will always stand with them. It was the fact that they will flood my house and I would have to do mold remediation with almost $6,000-7,000. I was going into debt. And then they started attacking me when I go there in person. Either they put a nail in my car. It just got so terrible. There was a time one of them burnt my apartment with smoking cigarette down. One actually stuffed my toilet with polythene bag and let it overflow. These people were like tenants from hell and I couldn't do anything. And this was a house when I bought that I used almost $5,000 to cut just the stupid tree in the back. It was purchased for me by one Peter Anyam, one of our Nigerian Hebrew brothers way back. He wasn't looking out for my interest. When I almost ended up homeless, it was with my own hands that I went and filed for bankruptcy and I paid $3,500. Went to court to give them the house and I paid them for taking it from me. And for 10 years, that bankruptcy was held over my head. I didn't have a single credit card. So when I come here and I speak, I'm not speaking to show off. I'm telling you from the mistakes that I've made. I'm being transparent. So that you don't think that it's wisdom. My mother, my same mother, would always say, it means this child is wise. Who taught them? It is one thing to speak with wisdom. It is another thing to let it show and leave it. And Nigerians are not used to that. I heard a man saying, the smarter you are as a woman, the lesser your chances of finding a man. And I beg to correct that. The smarter you are as a woman, the more the chances of trying to pick the right man and the lesser the chances of falling for the manipulative ways, the wicked ways, because you can read through the smell. And sometimes some of the men that have chased me or a few that I've gone out with, when I look on their post, you don't know. What we post is our resume. Post consciously. It's your audition to the world. Now go on the page. That's why repost is very critical. I don't repost people on my page unless I have a message to pass. What you repost is who you are. Because for you to repost it, don't just repost because you think it's funny, you're trying to make a joke. No, you're telling people, this is what I find funny. This is who I am. This is how I would react. This is what I believe in. Your posting, your repost especially, are your resume footprints. That's who you are. And sometimes I go on their pages and you see these grown men, my mates. They're posting big boobs and big butts and it hasn't changed. Or they post some crazy things and you keep wondering, is this the man I would have married or dated? Nothing up here. Such men will tell me to dim my light so that they can shine. Such men will pull you down regardless of how much they look on the outside or how much money they have. They will kill your morale. Instead of seeing your smartness as an asset, understanding like Alhaji Lateef Lawal that woman that is fire is the destiny helper. That she is humble. The humility is not what they want to see. They want to see the abject total submission. A lot of you men are today poor, will never amount to anything because you are letting your educational level, your pocket level, beat you into the ground by being narcissistic or overly bossy. Women that you could have just been a little bit fatherly to, brotherly to, friends with, your wives, your partners. You are busy lording over them because you are the man. I am the man. The inferiority complex and how you were brought up in Nigeria have destroyed you. The pains of the way that you have seen marriages fall apart have scared you into self-destruction. You must understand that the ways of our fathers are not working. And if they are, my brother, perhaps I should tell you are not even rich enough. You are not juju bounded enough. Our forefathers were talking to their wives. You will see them like this and your heart will beat apart. You think they did that with ordinary eyes. Be calming down. You have to grow. Change is unavoidable. If you don't change, your circumstances will change for you and will force you to change or kill you in that stagnancy. There's so many brilliant women out there that I see. So many. So many. Well, my therapy session is over. It is well with you. Mi ò dẹ̀ ṣe drama. Mi ṣe drama, reality ni mo bring. Out of all this you'll have seen something to pick. You'll have seen something to pick. So I'm going to end with a prayer. May God back every effort, good, legitimate, honest effort with His grace and His mercy. May doors open up for you with a good heart and godly heart. Because it is not just persecutions of the Christians. It is the punishment of goodness, of goodwill, of decency and character. You don't know why I love Lizzie Anjorin so much. I love her. I love her. Now, there must be hundreds, if not thousands, of her like. But it is who I see that I use. Because I've researched her. Her life history, I can write it with my eyes closed. Where I was trying to, you know how they did with Barack Obama? Just digging and digging and digging. And all I've met is suffering, resilience, honesty, hardworking, favor, decency, reality. Oh my family, when I think that this same Liz Anjorin didn't start to even think of perming her hair until like 5 years ago. Lizzie didn't fix nails until like maybe 3 years ago. Do you know when I've been fixing nails and palming my hair? Your absence from visibility. Let me say that again. Your absence from being visible doesn't mean that you have disappeared. Tissue any better, a man forward. Oh, Mama Gwen, it'll be pushing you. Show them, let them know, show them. Even your artists and movie stars that are showing you are doing it because they know that is the package you like to buy. These days when I'm on social media and I see, let me help you. Do you know that you can make 2 million in 2 months? And you're showing me all these fancy cars and houses. Because if you don't show them those glorious things, you will not be able to steal from them. At the end of the day, you go into the profile, register with $99. You want to make me rich. But Lizzie Anjorin has not asked any of you to bring a dime except to buy. Buy part of the piece of legacy. Adjust your life, save. You don't have to buy from her. Use her wisdom. She was in the dirt, rolling in the mud. And God saved her. And I'm going to take her advice. World Globe Confession. Now, yesterday when she was doing the show with Z Mama, she said, Shoti Bobari, have you abused the kings before? She said no. Shobujoye, she said no. Shoti Bawa politicians, she said no. Look at Z. Z is not half as educated as me. But Omoto Lekoni. Omoto Furi Bale. And Orisheun 2026. Z Mama and her husband Ade been together for 20 years. 5 beautiful children. They reside in Germany. They're going to be getting married. That is something everybody should celebrate because that means that marriages abroad still work. She was nothing. She was just doing hair. Hairdresser took her, and the husband took her abroad to Germany, and they are still together today. Just because the man brought you abroad does not give you the right to want to spoil it. That single girl that you are single mother shit that a lot of you are doing, a lot of people that are doing it right didn't plan to end up as single parents, and there's nothing disgraceful in it. You understand? But just like married women are supposed to have character, single women and single mothers too are supposed. There's no status in life that exempts us from common sense, dignity, and respect. Respectful living. To ba ma ṣaṣẹ́wó in peace kò jẹ́ asinmi. Má fi báyé àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ jẹ́. Don't start now acting like that is the only way to be or that is the right way to be. Is what I'm saying. Give me a minute. You know? Ẹ jẹ́ kí amrọ̀bà mọ̀ pé amrọ̀bà lòun. That is how it is. I know I was in darkness. Mo rí pé mo dúdú kẹ́ má ni mo ti ń ṣì. This is my true color. So, to all the politicians in Nigeria, all the joyes and the obas, ẹ kú rọ̀jú. Iṣu ọba ló ń fọba jẹ àbí báwọn ṣe sọ gbogbo dọ̀tí tá ń dà sí yín lórí out of frustration as Nigerians. It is well. It is well. Kò easy láti jẹ́ olórí ìlú àti bàbá àwọn ọmọ tó ń ti dìbì tán fẹ́ lọ. You will learn every day. Lizzie soften me gan. Lizzie Anjorin, Dr. Chief Mrs. Lizzie Anjorin Lawal. Thank you. I learned a lot from you. Even before you got your doctorate, I learned if God could use the lamb to talk to Balaam, and it the hurt, the bitterness, you ask yourself, because it is only a mad person that keeps doing something and not seeing results, but keeps doing it. There's a difference between tenacity, passion, and fruitlessness. When you're doing something that's going to yield you a result, God is not wicked enough for it not to let it shift. But and it doesn't work for you. That is, you're looking and assessing, analyzing the grounds that you have been planting. And it is not viable. It is not fertile. Is it not time then to pack your load and go look for a fertile land to plant your soil? Make the soil virile and plant your seeds so that you will not have lived. Lórin nínú ayé bí ejò tí ò nípa. Àṣìpa òwe pátápátá ni òwe yẹn. Àwọn tí ò bímọ rárá, tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ní inú kan, those that are barren, didn't even have the grace to have had a single child. With the right attitude, the kindness of heart, their goodness in trying to advance the causes in the lives of others with all that God has given them, will make them and position them better to be taken care of, honored and dignified and respected. Ẹ̀yin akúṣẹ̀, àwọn akúṣẹ̀ nìkan lè máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ òdì. All your adages and proverbs are hard, as if somebody should go commit suicide. Rich people don't have that perception. Inú ìṣẹ́ tẹ́ wà ló sì ń jẹ́ kẹ́ máa sọ àwọn òwe kan. Ẹni tí ò lọ́mọ láyé, ó dàbí ejò tí ò nípa lórí àpáta. Bloody lie. Absolute gibberish nonsense. Except you see a barren woman that you want to hurt, you want to disgrace, that's when you use that proverb. Because we're all targeted to be strong in ourselves as standing pillars. We're supposed to be as trees with branches that cover others. If you're living the plan that God has for you, Obimo, you would always have children, because there are two ways to have children. Those that you birth from your private parts with your sperms and from your private parts as women, and those that you birth through mentoring, through adoption, through goodness, through your presence, through your kindness. We also birth that way. And sometimes those children are better standing by you, better protective of your standards and structure and dignity and legacy and posterity than the ones that you birth from your private parts. I just wanted to remind you. Every day I learn. Some of the old things I've forgotten get revived. But most times, I'm humble. I'm hard. Because the more I learn, the less I know. But I thank God as I can revisit, meditate, sit down, think, and borrow from the sense that He has shown and given me, that I didn't just pack it all up and throw them away. And I hope to God that you do the same. Humble yourselves. No matter how hard the truth is, it will always be the truth. So save yourself the journey of having to merry-go-round and still come back to the same spot. Because truth can be covered, buried, cut into pieces, smashed and squashed, but it will always revive. Have a wonderful rest of your week, you girl. Elizabeth Ajala Oshodi. Don't forget to visit my page. I do more writing than I talk. Because I like to keep things in posterity, and Facebook usually deletes after 30 days. I keep uploading on YouTube, and I don't even know how to check what I'm making on YouTube. But I don't know how to check all those things, because that's not where my heart is. I'm not despising the money they pay. But when you do something, they say, why don't you do this? You need to pay this. You need to. Facebook, my Zuckerberg to me, me. Now. That's why you see all these dangerous bloggers. If you post 10 times, you will do this. If you just pay 20 times, you'll get you this boost. And if you, Sherry, enter one Nigeria. Unfortunately, that may be your way of income, but I don't have to subject myself to that. That bigger fish for me to fry. You understand? There's a time and a place. So when I talk, I'm not talking big, I'm just talking reality. Because I realize a lot of Nigerians have inferiority complex a lot. You don't know the difference between somebody talking with confidence and knowing who they are, who God says that they are, walking in the fullness of the knowledge that they have, in the gains of the sufferings that they've been able to train and build themselves with. In fact, some of the help is because they're looking at it and say, this one, if I help her, this one, and that is how some people are with your children. That's how they are with you, with your husbands. You don't know what's depressing them. You do everything. You're doing everything right. You see the people around you that can help you, but they won't because they're afraid of your growth. They're afraid that, look at you. You are not a millionaire yet. You don't even have it right. Anyway, if we foil this one, how can we push her around? We can't make her a slave. We can own her. We can't control her. Lord, pray today. Lord, give me favor without ownership. Give me grace without ownership. Don't let some people sit somewhere to want to own me like they hold their bag of rice or pair of shoes. Let them understand that you have created me with greatness on my heart. And that money is supposed to also further my cause to be useful to other people. Not to serve them, but to serve you and to serve humanity and to be grateful to them, to pay back, but not as a slave to their master, but out of humility of heart, with wisdom and kindness. I love you. Look at Elizabeth Ajala Oshodi. Be real. Good morning. Share. I don't even know how to go to do anything to your page, so don't worry. We're having therapy. This is a family time, right? It's a family time. People of like-mindedness, because it takes a lot for you to listen to me. Ashiri, you understand? It's got to be people in the world that are struggling and fighting, praying for better life for their children, for themselves, even if they have no legs and can't move anymore. But you know what I'm talking about. Real. And if you know the extent of your power and you don't know the limitations of it, will self-destroy. Don't be an obsessive idiot. For who? For faceless Nigerians? Like I always say. God help us all. Real.